Alright, this is the quick and dirty finger box we're going to make in the Reynolds High School wood shop. This is how it goes together, but it's going to take you a lot longer than that. Okay, start by getting a piece of wood. Make sure you've got 6 pieces all bundled together. Same species, of course. And go ahead and take it to a workbench, take your pieces apart. You're going to start with the 4 narrow pieces. Head on back to the multi-router right there. And this should be set up already for you to clamp the pieces in. There's 2 jigs in the front and the back. The short piece goes in the front, the long piece goes in the back. Make sure they're nice and snug in the fixture there. Before you start, do a test run with the machine. Make sure all the parts and levers work the way you intend to. Make sure it fits in the template correctly. And then when you're ready, we're going to start it up and go. Also on the short piece, you're going to start on the edge. So you're going to make 3 cuts. On the long piece, you're going to skip. So skip that one right there. You're going to start your cut there on the second piece right there. Okay. Power on. On the edge, skip 1. Middle, skip 1. And edge. Continue on to the long piece. You're going to skip the first part. Cut through the second and fourth cuts. And then flip those over end with the same edge touching the template. Go ahead and do both pieces at the same time. Double check to make sure those are in the fixture correctly, all the way snug up against the edge. And then repeat that process again. 3 cuts on the short piece. And 2 cuts on the long piece. Okay, and then go ahead and repeat for the next 2 pieces. You're not going to see this here because if you look really carefully on that long piece, it's not completely on the fence. So I ended up swapping that part out and didn't get that recorded. Okay, back at the workbench, you're going to take your 4 pieces and dry fit them together. Make sure everything fits nice and snug, all the corners fit, and we're off to the dado saw. Unpack your pieces and put the inside edge down. For most boards it doesn't matter. Saw by pulling the big paddle. Use a push stick or a push block. Make sure you have the piece flush up against the fence. Make sure that if you're reaching in to move a piece and you're not using that hand, use the push stick or the push block. Get that piece out of the way. 1 cut each on those. That's the wrong piece. No, stop there. One use the bigger top piece. We'll make 4 cuts. Make sure you have the piece tied up against the fence, and again, as you're moving the part away, use the push stick to move away from the saw blade. It does help to have a partner on the other side of the saw to between the pieces. Alright, and after this we need to move the fence over. The easiest way, so that we don't have to keep adjusting perfectly, is we're going to take this 1/4-inch board, slide that right up on the fence and clamp it down. That way the fence stays in the same position throughout the operation and multiple people's faces. We're going to repeat with that top piece. Cut all 4 sides. So what that's going to do is make a 1/2-inch rabbet. Top piece right there. Our bottom piece. And hopefully if we did this right for you, the saw should already be set up right depth. So you can see what it is. Say this again, just keep fingers away from the saw. It does have the saw stand here. When you're done, turn the saw off and wait for the blade to stop. Wait till the green blinking light goes solid before you start touching pieces. Back at the workbench, dry fit all of your pieces. And you're going to see when I put this one together that it doesn't quite fit. We cut the bottom pieces just a little bit too wide. So if you look at this, dude, get it back in the frame. So right now that bottom piece fits snug up on the sides, but it leaves a gap at the fingers. So I'm going to go back over the table saw. I didn't show that, but I'm going to make 1 more cut on the table saw. So now when we look at it, it takes a second to get the pieces in there. There should be a little bit of a gap around the bottom. That's okay, because what that does then is it allows our fingers to be nice and tight. Now those finger joints are tight. Top fits in nice and snug. We're off to the gluing table. Alright, I'm going to use type 1 glue. It's got a 1 on the bottom. Get a Q-tip or two. Unpack your box and make sure you kind of unfold it so all the pieces are in the right direction. About a quarter-size blob of glue on a piece of scrap wood. Please don't put it on the workbench. Use your Q-tip to put the glue on. Make sure you do not get glue on the end grain because it will soak in and will make a difference on the finish. Okay, go ahead and put glue on both mating surfaces. Assemble as you go. After the first one, you'll get a sense of about how much glue you need there. Okay, usually right about here is where I put the bottom piece in. Don't glue the entire bottom piece. Just a little bit of glue on one edge keeps it from rattling. If you glue the whole thing, as a box expands and contracts with changes in temperature and humidity, it could cause that joint to break and be worse than just a rattly bottom. Push it all closed. You probably need to put a little bit of clamping pressure on that just to get all the fingers to seat completely. You're also going to make sure that you wipe off any glue. An even better way is to have a wet rag. Any glue out of the corners, anywhere else, get all of that out. If you don't do it now, you're going to be working 10 times as hard later, so really take the time to make sure all that glue is off. You can see here that my fingers just aren't quite set all the way, so I'm using the clamp just to press everything into place. And once it's in, you don't need to leave the clamps on it. We're going to use some blue tape to hold it together. One last chance, make sure all the glue is off all the way around, inside and outside. And just a couple laps around with the blue tape. You do not need to unwind an entire roll of blue tape on this thing. Of course, when I'm doing this for the camera, it's going to break like 23 times, but you know, such is life. Okay, a couple laps around. Our glue strength is not from the compression of the glue, it's actually just the fingers interacting with each other. So at this point, put everything back together, Q-tips away on the gluing cart, put the tape away. Please, please, please throw away your paper towels. If you just mop up the glue in a garbage can, we can use that backer board for somebody else. And one thing you're going to want to do, since we're going to have a bunch of these, is put your name and the date on a piece of scrap, napkin, paper, something, and just like that. Alright, you can store this in your locker, your classroom, purse, bag, whatever. In 24 hours we'll come back. What I'm not showing in this video is the sanding and staining steps, but we've got some wonderful students around to help you get that done. Yeah, that's it for now. Good luck.